Debbie's not going to make it in tonight. She's exhausted, she said. John's pretty much the same, just existing for the most part. I have Linda here. She's going to give a treasurer's report, and then Valerie will announce our speaker. Yes. The volume might need to be turned up over here, though.
Okay, just wanted to let you know we have currently in the bank $3,162.76. We have paid expenses this year for our PSA membership, the NIMAC membership, NJFCC membership, our web hosting site, and the cost we pay $13.64 every month for Zoom. We currently have 52 members. So if you know anybody that wants to join, just, send them our way. Other than that, that's all I have to say. I guess you're up, Valerie.
No other business? Okay.
Yeah, we're done with business.
All right. So I found Brian Branch Price through the Trenton Photography Club, and I stalked him along with a couple other people. So he's going to speak to us about the art of photojournalism. So he's going to take us through the art of photojournalism using his street photography. The topics were vanishing communities and a Black Cowboy project. Now, he is an American documentary and portrait photographer, director and author who varied 25-year career has ranged from photojournalism to commissions of fine art projects. And he has a methodology that has evolved to employ a traditional documentary and reportage approach that allows for his subject's interpretation of the subject. The driving concern of his work is to explore the Black diaspora. I don't know why I always struggle with S's in my life. Focusing on the realities of the American African experience in the Americas. So there's a lot more here, but we have a limited amount of time, so we're going to stop right there. But I'm excited to bring you Brian.
Okay, I see a green light.
Break somewhere in the middle.
Oh, no problem. Okay. So, let's get my leg here. Hello, family, as I call everyone. I'm gonna start to share my screen. Maybe. Okay, that's how you share the screen. Let's go up with that. Nope. Let's see. Let's share the screen and stop it. Sometimes I talk to these things. There it goes. Okay.
It helps when you talk to it.
It does. So tonight I'm going to present just a couple of pieces of work. I don't have much street in here. Last year, I've been going around shooting Black Cowboys around the country. This year, I hope to do more. I hopefully got some grants coming in that's going to provide me that access. I got started. Well, we'll get back to that later. So, and also, I work on a lot of stories, do a lot of street as spoken. And I'm going to share with you a very personal story. At the end, it's very short. It's about the Black infant mortality and maternal rate. And I had an opportunity to sit with these folks and let me hang out with them and tell this story. So we are going to get into this in a second. Where is the tester? Hold on. I gotta do it right. Well, let's just hope that's it. Okay, the big one. Let's see if I got this video right. I'm trying to blend video and stills together. Okay. And we'll just go through it one by one. This is the grand entry that the Cowboys do in how do I hide this column over here? Do you know, Matt? There it is. Wait. I found it. Okay, here we go. I just shared Lightroom. So that's supposed to be a huge by itself. It's not supposed to be. So I opened it up here, and I got one image. Resume. I need help. Okay, so what do I got to do?
Okay. Are we looking there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you switch your screens?
Yeah. So they're all here.
All right. Stop sharing.
Up here somewhere.
Yep. So
Right there?
stop sharing. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And then go back to share screen again.
All right.
Oh my goodness. And then share this one.
This one here? Is
Yes.
that the full screen?
There we go. Okay.
All right. Okay, so turn the neck. Okay, here we go. I think I can do it this way. Let's see what happens. This is in Oklahoma, Okmulgee. This is the Pony Express. It's just a couple of clips. That was my little intro of Cup going around the country. So let me start off with the club that introduced me to Cowboys in Jersey. This is members of the Crazy Faith Riders of New Jersey. They were doing a hood ride, they call it, when they do the trail rides through the city. This has happened to be in Newark. Here they're in Weekway Park. We still got a good, are we still, this is a good screen? Okay. This photograph is in Newark Airport. If you go through Terminal A, the new Terminal A, it's in gates 1 through 8. You can see the overhang. This was selected as when they did Newark Airport over again. They had artists submit work, and this is one of the works that they accepted. So I want to share that with you. Again, this is the hood ride, we call it, and we were somewhere off Elizabeth Avenue in Newark, and they wanted to get something to eat. There was a chicken joint across the street, and so they just tied the horses up, and that's it. That's live. This is through Irvington, and guys riding through Irvington. This is LeVar. He's a youngster at I think Plainfield High School, and we have a couple of youngsters in the club. So, you know, a lot of clubs they kind of age out, so we try to bring the youth in to get them, you know, interested in horseback riding. So yeah, so usually the clubs own their own horses, and sometimes they have more than two. This is up in, is it Spruce Run or what's the one next to it? up in Lebanon Township. Let's go with that. Round Valley. There you go. That's the annual trail ride we have. This is another youngster getting ready for the parade. This is up at the trail ride. This is what folks do. They play, was it horseshoes? They play horseshoes. I was out in North Carolina. They had this game that they tossed the beanbag in a hole. You know what that's called? Cornhole. That's what it was. So I thought it was something else, but we're gonna go with that. There's a night. These guys came late, but they did a trail ride. Horses can see at night very well. Again, a night event at the trail ride. This is again a trail ride in Round Valley. You know, get ready to go. We usually have a little prayer before we go. Again on the trail ride. We're about to do it. This is a dance every year. The Crazy Faith has a dance. A lot of clubs go back and forth with their dances and galas and celebrations. It kind of marks the beginning of the season. This is the club's president, Tammy. She has, I think, 3 or 4 horses on her property. And she rides them. She also has it's not a petting zoo, but she does have a business where she takes her animals out to see the children. And every morning, within 30 minutes, she's feeding the horses, taking care of the horses. She's got some chickens, some pigs, some goats. She's got a cow.
It's a real zoo.
Yeah. These are some members of the Crazy Faith Riders. This is in Edison. We rode out Edison at one time. This is on another trail ride in Gettysburg, I believe. So I'm moving along to the states where I've traveled. These members are the New York Federation of Black Cowboys. And what you should know is a lot of the Northern Cowboys come from the South. But during the Great Migration, they moved north and brought some of the traditions with them. Again, these are the New York Federation and a trail ride.
How many members are there?
So in our club, we have 40, and I think the Federation, they have, I don't know, maybe about 20. As you go into the different states, it grows more and more and more. And this weekend, I was with the Oklahoma Cowboys. It's just 8 of them that ride, but they have a huge community that support them. That's Curly. He has a very interesting story. I encourage you to go see his museum in Queens. He'll keep you there for 3 hours, tell you all kind of cowboy stories. Again, this is a parade. This is how I first really met the Cowboys in a parade. That's the only time you really see them is publicly is in a parade. This is in the Bronx, Brooklyn. This is Heather. She's one of the cowgirls. This is the Federation by the Duke Museum. I forgot his name, but we were at a funeral in Newark. And this guy here sends it off the horse. His name is Miles. I forgot his last name, but Miles, you may know him. In 2014, he rode across from New York to LA. Yeah, he had 4 horses, but he had 1 main horse. Because you need a couple horses to go. There's another guy, if you watch Get Outdoor Magazine, he's doing he's going from California to New York, so he might be almost here. I'm just trying to follow him. This is a cowboy funeral. You always get buried with hats and boots on. That's just cowboy culture. And here, the little boys just watching them at the burial ground. Again, this is the Federation. I visited them. They were at West Point, visiting this fellow who's like, I think he's 102. So he's the last remaining Buffalo soldier. So the Buffalo Soldiers went from 1866 to into World War II, but in World War II, the last part of that, they were stationed at West Point, teaching the cadets how to do the horsemanship. But the Buffalo Soldiers have been in every conflict that the U.S. had up to World War II. Now, surprisingly, I think he's still around. I just talked to somebody who said hey, because this was 2022, and he was at the ceremony again in 2023. So It's up at West Point. It's open to the public if you ever want to go sometime in June or July. He lives up in Albany, and I try to sit him down, but he's a certain age. He just do what he tells me to do. So I was trying to make a nice portrait of him. So that's not him in the back statue. There's someone else that just recently passed before him.
Did you know?
Yeah, they all kind of worked. He knew the guy, right? He knew the guy. Yeah, yeah. And so there's a shot here. Anybody know how the Buffalo Soldiers got their name? Anyone, quick, raise your hand. Okay, if you don't know, I'll tell you. There you go. That's good enough. Yeah, so the natives or Indians said, oh, you kind of remind us of the buffalo with the black skin and woolly hair. So that's kind of how they got in. So Buffalo, there was two regiments, one the 9th and 10th Cavalry, one out of Louisiana, one out of Kansas. And then there were others who were troopers who trooped. They didn't all ride the horses. And this is just a shot looking up at the fella. So they were again they were in Philippines, Cuba, they were in Italy, they were kind of all over. This is Malik. He's out of Philadelphia. Philadelphia has a proud tradition of cowboys. There's like 2, maybe 4 clubs currently. He's with the Concrete. His was the Concrete Cowboys. There was a movie recently out called The Concrete Cowboys, named after his stable. So again, they come out for community affairs. They also have trail rides. It's Malik again hanging out through the neighborhood in Philadelphia. This is a roundup in Fairmount Park. Anybody been to Fairmount Park? It's larger than Central Park, right? It's huge. Is that right? That's a fact. Okay, yeah. These are the Fletcher Street Riding Club. These cats. So this is part of the Concrete Cowboy Show. They're on Fletcher Street. They had the stables there. They still do, but the city just granted them new stables in Fairmount Park. But they keep them both private. This is right in the city. It's one of the kids is very active. Anybody notice anything strange in this photograph? Well, up top there's a goat hanging out. So they got all kind of animals back there: cats, chickens. They don't have a cow. This is the son of one of the founders. And if you guys sign up for Unique Photos in Philadelphia, camera show in Philadelphia, they're always there for photographs on one of those days. So if you get down to Philly, we're going to come up to Fairfield with the Jersey Cowboys when they have a camera show in June. Ellis is the guy on the left. He's one of the founders of the club, and he always rides. Once you get a certain age, you don't get on a horse no more. So he's in his buggy. Philadelphia's known for the little buggies. Every club has something that's different than other clubs. So I first wanted to get on that, but I said I was too heavy, couldn't get on it, and it bounces a lot. So there's another Philadelphia cowboy. I forgot his name. This is Al. He was in the Concrete Cowboy. So they had like 5 or 6 local folks in that movie besides Idris Elba and a couple other well-known A-list people. He just posed for a portrait for me. I think this is a Concrete Cowgirl. She rides in, she does a lot of equestrian riding. This is Bob Sneed. He's a world trainer. He let me take his portrait. I did a couple portraits. Well, as you see, most of my work is in black and white. And I do have this on film. I think I shot him on 2 1/4 as well. Here he is working on a horse. Some are some film and some digital. This is Digital Club? They're all from digital, excuse me. Okay. Yeah. Most of my portraits are shot on film. We're gonna run this. This is a group out of Maryland. There's a guy here. There's 2 guys here I want to talk about. 2 guys did do the horses from Maine to Florida, and one of the guys are in here. The one who's filmed. This is the beginning of the trail ride. So again, this is unique trail, unique club. They like music at the beginning of the ride and throughout the ride.
Do the horses, when they doing the hood rides and so forth, do they, in the cities, is it, like, do you have problems with the horses spooking at all? I know typically, a lot of times, horses have issues with traffic.
So my experience has been in the parade with bubbles. They don't like bubbles. We had no problem riding alongside the cars and things of that sort. So I haven't seen anything, but they don't like bubbles. And there was something else they don't like. But as far as riding, they don't get that spooked. If it's right after, if it's just right after at them. And then what you have to know is to have your horse well trained, you have to ride them regularly, 2 or 3 times a week. They know what's going on. If you just hopping on them after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because the memory is not that long. In fact, I talked to a girl in Texas today, just get some information. I said, what you doing? When you talk to people, horse cowgirls in Texas, oh, get ready to ride a horse. It's like every day. So she's practicing for her drills coming up. So I keep forgetting you guys ride every day out there. So, and they have to keep their horses in tune and stuff. This fella here, Ray, he did ride from Maine to Florida. Him and I'll show you his separate picture. He's going to talk about how he feels about the American flag, which is very interesting for him.
Because of the history of this flag, but no matter what I study what this flag stands for, and I realize that from freedom said liberty and justice, everybody has a right to make a declaration of this flag. But we all say liberty and justice for all. Can you imagine a whole generation being raised and believing that this flag stands for liberty and justice for all? So that's why I can't understand.
Yeah, stop it. I know, I know. Just do like this. I had a bad mic. This is like 2 years ago. Now I got mics, I can do stuff with it. So so he believes in the flag. He didn't like it at first, but he understood what it stood for. And so now he's promoting it. And so when you go to a rodeo, a black rodeo, they do 2 anthems, the Black national anthem and then they do the national anthem. I'm in Maryland. They posed for a portrait from me. At night before they went out, again in Maryland. He's got a thing coming up in March to his birthday. I'll probably go down again. Old guys getting together. So when they have these trail rides, the family comes out, but some of the kids can't ride. So they provide games and things for them to do to get acclimated to the horses, just keep them busy for the day. And they have, so a trail ride, you come in on Friday night, there's usually some small fish fry, right? And then Saturday, they get ready for the trail ride, and then they have games and things for the kids. They have tug of war. I think I got a picture coming up. And then this particular group has a huge, the bonfire goes higher than the ceiling. So he starts collecting wood all over, and you're 40 feet away, you can feel the heat. So I've been to a lot of trail rides, and some bonfires are small, but this one, it has to be like 20 feet in the air. So they keep the kids interested in that. They bring the trailers. Years ago, the trail rides were roughing it. They were out with sleeping bags. And now they got trailers, so they kind of intense and so forth. So here they were doing a rodeo. She felt like laying back on a horse. And so once you got your horse trained, they won't move on you. Here he's up doing on his hind legs. I forgot what that's called. And the girls are standing in the back of the horses, are taking a break. So the guy on the right is Mr. Morris. He's the guy with the flag, and him rode from Maine to Florida on their horses. This is a multi-generation. This is the father in the middle, the son on the left, and the grandfather far on the right. So they put the kids on the horses at 2 or 3 years old. They just keep them going. This particular trail ride, they had chicken, they had a brisket, they had everything, and they hid the pork from me. They roasted the pig. So where's the pig? I want to see the picture of that. So they do traditional foods. They're all meat eaters. So if you go to a rodeo, if you go to a trail ride, you got to bring your own vegetables and stuff. I mean, they have string meat and stuff, but mostly all meat eaters. This is a trail ride. That's how it goes. This is usually goes kind of slow, but the young folks, they go hard. They cross the roads. This little fella rides as well. Again, this is Maryland. If you see the back, you see the longhorn steers. This is in Maryland. A guy goes out to Texas every Labor Day and brings some back, and he does what they do with the longhorns. Anybody seen a longhorn steer before? The horns are long, right? They're long. Again, part of the trail ride, just sitting in the back. We were in North Carolina. This is Carolina Cowboy. So let's talk about Carolina Cowboy for a minute. He does a lot of hands-on with the farm animals. He's raised that way. His grandfather raised him that way. He was very interesting. I couldn't understand what he was saying because he had that twang. He was a deep twang. I said, "What'd you say again?" He didn't mind repeating it. So this is at the Ebony Horseman's Ride, where they have about 1,500 cowboys and cowgirls come to ride the trail ride for the weekend. I think it starts Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But in addition, there's 25,000 people show up as part of the festivities. So it's huge. It's one of the hugest one on the East Coast. This is an old gentleman. He's telling me that you got to put your hand under your arm so the horse can smell you and kind of get to know you. So he's showing me the tricks on how to train a horse or get the horse to relax. So he put his hands right on his nozzle there. Just gathering at a resting point. They're riding the river for like 3 or 4 miles. I got so far, but then my camera crapped out on me. So I got to go back in this year. Again, this is North Carolina. They're getting ready for the trail ride. The backdrop is where the rodeo is. They have, after the trail ride, they rest, and there's just some performers. These young cats, all they want to do is race. Some of them ride, as you can see, got a left, is not no saddle. So some ride no saddle, some ride do a saddle. Here they are racing. Philadelphia is known for racing in the streets. Usually at Fairmount Park, they race 100 yards, and they're out there taking bets. I was trying to capture, but by the time I got ready, the horses were gone, so I couldn't do anything. So and they only do one race. But if you see the Concrete Cowboy, they show the race, the traditional race in Philadelphia. He called himself Plum. He just walked around like that. I thought it was quite interesting. They all have moonshine or something going on. Again, it's at the halfway point, the trail ride. These are 2 brothers horsing around. To join the trail ride? So what happens on the trail ride, if you know anything about it, everybody's invited. So you don't have to be part of the club. Y'all can you can come out, just let them know you're coming. And you got to bring your horse, right? And that's it. So, but it's hard to, if you're not in tune to the clubs, you don't know what's going on. So every year in North Carolina, they have a gala, and in the gala, they go to a little secret room and they say, well, when you want to do your trail all the way from April to September. Every representative goes in there. We do ours the 1st of August. We do ours the 2nd of August. We do ours in April. So everybody knows when the trail rides are. So that's how when you see them on a parade, you don't know how to do the trail rides unless you go to the galas and they say, oh, well, ours is this week. So that was part of dance. I got to out of sync. Here, after the trail ride, they were getting ready for the rodeo performance, but NBC was there, and they were interviewing a whole bunch of all the cowboys who were going to do the events. So by the time it was ready for the rodeo to go was getting dark, and they kind of like canceled it. So, TV just takes over everything. These guys just hanging out, riding. They call this the Boom Boom Room, where they had a meet and greet. My man is just holding his moonshine and dancing with the kids, and just having a good time. This is one of the NBC guys. He was like, "Oh, take my pictures." So you see his radio in his hand. So I think he's out of New York. I forgot his name. Here, they're all getting ready for the trail ride. One thing about the trail ride is that they all have these fancy golf carts. Some have mag wheels, some have different colors. So it's huge. It's on a 40-acre. It's on a huge property. So if you want to go around visit people, it's a long walk. So they rent the golf carts, and some of them bring their own golf carts, and they got music playing, and some are 6-seaters, some are 2-seaters, some are 8-seaters. It's just crazy stuff that you see. This guy here, they're from Belize. That's part of my project, is going to Central America, see some of the Black Cowboys there. But they were up for this show. His name is Tarek, Rico, they call him. So this is one of the organizers just sitting in this golf cart. Here's a little bit of their trail ride. Say something. The horses helped me out there. Because the first group came by, they were all talking, hammering in the camera. I said, okay, well, all right. This is part of the trail ride dance. Line dance, anybody here line dance? Okay, well, country line dance is a little different, or soul country line dance is a little different. So this won't be too long. Sorry, my soundboard is cracking up here. Hope they can't hear that sound. I don't know this dance, but I want to learn it. I like the music. Got some nice tunes to it. This dance is called Step Into It. If you're a cowboy, cowgirl, you're always stepping in something on the ground. Matt, can they hear they can hear that? Yeah, sorry about that, family. I had forgotten my soundboard was jacked up. Yeah. This is a younger crowd. They stay out all night. And then the older folks sit around the horseshoe and watch them dance and carry about. A little younger. And then I just got back into it. I was cycling on my bicycle before that. And it was fun, man. So, okay, here we're in Detroit. Detroit has a rodeo coming up. This guy here on the right, if you ever see a commercial from Ancestry.com, you'll see him in there. He and his family own a chicken joint, and he goes back like 6 generations or 5 generations. They're all shown in the commercial. But this is Detroit. It's a small rodeo, but it was good. They're here. They are steer wrestling or bull dodging, I believe. Anybody know who created that event? I'll tell you, it's Bill Pickett. Anybody hear Bill Pickett? So Bill Pickett created this event called, they call it steer wrestling now, where they jump off the horse and wrestle them to the ground. Yeah, and I'll tell you about that. Yeah. So she was a champion. She started competition at age 30. She's 78 now, and she just quit a few years ago. That's Sister Turner again. This is some models out in Detroit, because this is a whole fashion thing too. There's so many intricacies when you go out to these shows. Here's a rodeo clown. His name is Mr. Mills. He does reenactment with Buffalo Soldiers. Those are some of the rifle and the sabers that they had. These are he said they're authentic. He got them from somewhere. So they have a museum in Detroit. This little fella up here, he lost his roping. Little kids, the children they're very competitive. If they don't get their win, they do some crying. So I don't know what they're about to do here, but they're getting a horse ready to either rope or steel wrestle. It's little girls. They gave me a portrait. So lassoing roping is part of the culture, and you might have seen old Buck Rogers and folks like that, or whatever, jump through the ropes. So it's all part of it. You make a little loop or a big loop. So they're all practicing roping because they know they only get one shot at roping that calf or bull. This is I know his horse died, right? And so he's 82 years old. So he's got his bovine is called Hope, and he took me around 7 Mile in Detroit, practicing roping, practicing drilling. It was so funny. I think I have him later here in the picture. This is of course, bull riding. Again, the grand entry that you saw. Okay, so we're moving into Oklahoma. Okmulgee. Anybody been to Okmulgee? Oklahoma? Nowhere? Oklahoma, okay. So there's a couple of different rodeos. There's the Bill Pickett Rodeo, there's the Black Rodeo USA, and then you have the Oklahoma Rodeo. So the Black Rodeo USA and the Bill Pickett Rodeo are about 2 to 3 hours, right? You can go in 2 or 3 hours. But the rodeos in Oklahoma and out west can last from 7 o'clock to evening to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't know that. I was expecting 2 hours. I'd be out shooting, and then my hotel was an hour away. Oh, it was dragged. So, but it was interesting. Now, I'm going to go back again this year. This man is he's a blind man from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and every year for the last 15 years, he and Topaz ride from Bartlesville to Okmulgee on his horse. He knows how to do it. Blind. He invited me to come back in March to see him go from DC from Bartlesville to DC. I have to call him, see if he's still going to do that, and just photograph him.
He's blind?
Say again?
The rider's blind?
Yeah, the rider's blind. Horses can see. He's got 2 horses. Bartlesville's 100 miles away from Okmulgee. He's got some type of sonic or hearing thing that helps him keep in line. So, again, it's in Okmulgee all night. And the guys, they stand on the horse. They're trying to watch the Pony Express. Anybody hear the Pony Express? So they simulate that in the baton. So it's and Bill Pickett is 4-man team, and Oklahoma's 8-man team. It's all night. And that's what they come out for. They want to see the Pony Express. This is part of it. Guys getting ready to rodeo. This is, roping a calf, just walking around, having a good time in Okmulgee. Here they're doing a double calf. They're getting 2 at a time. These girls are champions. They're like teenagers. I photographed a girl up front when she was 8. She was champion. A girl on the back. This is 2023 Bill Pickett champion. They take it very seriously with the rodeos and the events because there's prizes to be get. So, and they don't play around. Sometimes you get 5,000, 10,000. So they're serious. They want that. They want that prize. They want that purse. This is how the kids get started on, what's it called? Mud and butt, something like that. Mud and button, something like that. So all the kids get started like that. The sheep. I saw one girl, she was backwards And she won because she stayed on the sheep longer than anybody else because she held on from backwards. So mud and busted, that's what it's called, mud and busted. Oakwogie has a parade prior to the main event. It's down, and all I know parades in Jersey, ain't no cars on the street, right? So they have cars and trailers, and everybody's on the street watching the parade come down. But he says different out west. Just a cat getting ready. This is the Pony Express. It was so hot. It was 100 degrees at nighttime. It was crazy hot. These two are champions. Both of them won. The guy on the right is Tony Aska. He won the steer wrestling championship, and the guy on the left won the bronc. I forgot his name, but he won the bronc horse championship. And they're out of Oklahoma. Again, this is the parade. You can see the cars on the parade on the road. This little boy, I think he's 3 years old. If you look on his thighs, he's kind of strapped in there for security, but that's what they do for the young ones. Again, they're out there having fun. It's Oklahoma. So this guy's name is Donald Tucker. He lives in Crested Butte, Colorado. Anybody been to Crested Butte? So he's very interesting. He's been out there since the early 70s. And I told him, I was trying to catch him for 2 years. I found him because I photographed the wedding. And at the wedding, the people, what do you do? I said, well, I do documentary stuff. And then the girl said, oh, well, I got an uncle who's a mountain man cowboy. So I find these interesting stories just talking to them. And I said, okay. So he was 80 at the time when she told me, and then it took me 2 years to catch up to him. I said, okay, he's still living. So what he has on is buckskin that he goes out and he does elk hunting. He does a lot of trapping with beaver. They still trap out there. He's part of the club that does beaver trapping. I think you had from 1820 to 1850, they had a 50 caliber musket. That's what they had to use. And believe it or not, that's his shack that he used to live in a few years before I met him. But now he lives downtown. This is just outside Crested Butte or in the proper. And he put on the gear for me and posed. I have that on. I think this is on film. And so he's from Plainfield, New Jersey. Former lawman. He greeted me with a 44 Magnum. Are you looking for me? I said, well, I'm just here to do a picture. He had like a slew of firearms in the house. I said, well, I'm sitting right here, sir. We're just doing some pictures, a little interview. What's interesting, he's like 200 miles from Denver. I said, well, I could get there in 4 hours. But if you haven't been to Denver, you know you run out of breath because it's high elevation, right? Denver's 5,000, he's 8,000, and he took me to 12,000. I'm like, hold up. They had to give me oxygen to get out there. And the roads are switchbacks, right? It doesn't straight like 95 to DC. I think I can just fly on down there, but no, all the roads are switchbacks. So here again, okay, this is Bill Pickett Rodeo. We're going to more rodeos. I think we'll wind down soon. And they come in with the African-American flag, and then they do the American anthem. This is a girl I called today. Her name is Asia Bryant. She was a champ too. She just got beat out by this girl who's 15, and Asia's 34. So she's going to try to get revenge on a youngster who beat her out for the world championship. That's Asia again. This picture is in the Horn Museum in Gainesville, Florida, University of Florida. These are the guys just hanging out, having fun in the chutes. Getting ready to rope. This is Spanky, he's a clown. Again, this is the girl I told you before. Her name is Courtney Solomon, and she, at 8 years old, she won the Bill Pickett Championship. She has 4 generations, her great-grandmother, grandmother, her mother, and herself have all been cowgirls. And they live somewhere in Texas. This is called undecorating. The girls go out and chase down the bull, and there's like duct tape on him, so they just try to take the tape off him. Getting ready to rope, coming out the chutes on a bronking horse. You know, practicing roping, you'll see a lot of that. She did something good. This is the grand entry where the night they come out and everybody gets to see them. Again, a dance. But this Bill Pickett Rodeo is in Washington, D.C. If you ever want to go to that rodeo, and go to the website, when they announce they're coming to D.C., buy the tickets so they sell out in 2 weeks. These little kids, they all participated somehow, some way. This is the only black man that participated in PBR, which comes to New York once a year. Professional bull riding. His name is Ezekiel Mitchell. This is grandmother, father, and son. So you can see the father's on the right, grandmother's in the middle, and the son's on the horse. And he won that night. He was 7 years old. Rope. He roped the calf. All you got to do is put the rope on him. That's it. They don't have to wrestle him. Here they're just waiting again in the chutes. He won this year. I think it was 2019. And after that, he actually, I just saw on the Bill Pickett stats that he's back into championship mode now. Will Ferrell Jr., his father also rides. They all ride. So this is Paris, who just won, but I want to show you this because I set up a remote on the ground, and I had a 35 millimeter, I think. I had a 21 on, but it was just too wide. I tested it, I put the 35 on. I think I clocked it at f4 and just kind of pre-focused and used a pocket widget to set the camera off. So I hope it was like over 1,000, like 1,500, but it was dark in there. So I had to pump that thing up to 6,400 to get some good, so I couldn't really pop the flash on them here, but when I was in Oklahoma, I could do the flash, but they don't like the flash in the Bill Pickett Rodeo. So, so this is Paris. So what's in her hand is the tape. And so I think less than a half a second, she pulled the tape off the bull 100 yards away she's down the other end of the arena. So that put her over the top for being the champion of the Bill Pickett Rodeo. That's why she's so happy. I think it was like 0.75 seconds or some crazy number. You get 30 seconds to pull it off. This is her family. All participate, all the kids but the fellow, the son doesn't, he doesn't. And it's a pretty penny to support the horses and the kids as they have entry fees and travel. They got to go around to get the points and things like that. So it's a pretty penny they got to spend. They spend over $30,000 just to raise the horses and get them to in the event. This is the first time Bill Pickett put the saddles out, which is really nice. So you know when you come in the arena, wow, it's like trophies being out. You can see what's going on, and everybody gets one. And they get their name put on it. The winners, they win the saddles in their event. So there's like I think 12 saddles or whatever, 12 events. They all get them. Whoever wins the event, and they get a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, they're $500-$600. So there's a pretty penny. So that's a kid, his grandson, who just won his event. Here they're ready to come in. This is the Pony Express team getting ready to line up, come in. Here we are in Maryland again on a trail ride. This is Savannah. I don't think she's competing anymore. I think she won the year before, 2017. She won. This is Tony Aska. It was between him and another guy, right? So they jump off the horse, try to wrestle the cow. And I don't know if I had a picture, but the cow got away. Cow got away. Now you're off the horse. So he's running down the arena trying to track down his cow, right? So he had 2 steps at him. Second step, after this one, he grabbed onto the leg, and then he turned and grabbed him. No horse. He ran around, grabbed him, caught him by the leg, and pinned him. And I asked him, well, what was on your mind? He said, I just try to get a hold of that damn cow so I can pin him. And so, but I think he won by 3 points. And the other guy, the guy before him, he got off the horse too, right? And so he ran him down to catch the cow, and so he went by like a few seconds or a few points. This is him before they go out. This is Tony Asker. He's like, he used to play basketball in Oklahoma. Now he's a cowboy. Oh, this is the picture. So this is him trying to wrestle the cow down to the ground. He said, I'm not going to let go of him. And I think the cow kicked him, so he got a little injury. But, it's $25,000, $30,000 to win. It's important.
A lot of money then.
Uh-huh. This is she's like 6 or 7 here. This is mother and daughter. And this is Don. He likes to reenact with the Buffalo Soldiers. These guys are out of Detroit, the reenactors. Okay, we're gonna stop here for a second. This is the quote from Stagecoach Mary. She was a Black woman who ran one of the stagecoaches for the U.S. Postal Service. So this is in the Black Cowboy and Western Museum in Denver. So that's one of her quotes. So before we move on to the next piece, which is short, does anybody know how the cowboy got their name? Anybody? Take a guess. So the reason why I was exploring this because it's been in the culture since Blacks were enslaved in this country. And if you were a slave owner, you had a farm and had animals. You had people who worked in the house, people work in the field, and you had people work the animals. And anybody knows what cows do? They roam. So, slave owners say, go get that cowboy. I kid you not. You're gonna ask anyone, they'll tell you the same story. So that's the original name of the term. And back in back in those days, 200-300 years ago, boy was a derogatory term. Even up to the 70s and 80s, if the Cowboys are still around, there are some they prefer not to be called Cowboys. They were like wranglers or field hands, but they didn't want to be called Cowboys. It's derogatory. But now it's very in vogue. It's very popular. So everybody's a cowboy. So, but a cowboy. When I talked about Carolina cowboy, a cowboy steps in this, right? He milks the animal. He does everything with the animals. He's not afraid to go get the animals. So a cowboy and cowgirl, a true definition is one who like I saw one on Instagram the other day. The kids were running down, the pigs are running around, and she landed on the ground and caught the pig, right? So she don't mind getting dirty and getting rough with the animals. So that's how the true cowboy does. And even in the rodeo, because if you're a slave owner, you're not gonna put your child on a bucking horse, right? You're gonna get somebody else to break that horse. So these are traditional stories that be handed down, as I found out more and more as I go. All right, so I think we're gonna move into my last segment. Yep. Okay, this is Kachina. She's out of Orange, New Jersey. Yes, stop for questions. How much time you got? A break? A break. Okay. Stop sharing? No, just leave it up. Okay, all right. All right. No, thank you. It's fasting today, right? It's Ash Wednesday. You guys do. What's Fat Tuesday? Was yesterday, right? Oh, we're not Catholics here, right? Okay.
Okay, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break here.
Turn the mic.
And you can unmute yourselves if you have any questions. Brian is here to answer. You can unmute yourself if you have a question. So Brian, I have a question. How many cameras do you take when you're out there? How much equipment are you walking around with?
Okay, so here's the deal. So when I'm flying, like next week, I'm flying out to Prairie View, Texas. right? And so I have my 2 1/4 I'm taking 4 DSLs and 1 film camera, 2 film cameras, the 2 1/4 and the film camera. When I'm local, I take my 4x5. So I have 6 or 7 cameras with me. When I'm out shooting, I'm having LS3, 2 on my shoulders, 1 on my neck. 2 are black and white and 1 is color. And the color one has the video to it. I bring the extra just in case I drop one. It has happened. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to go anywhere without just 1 camera because things happen. Right? And
Yeah, I was shooting my godson's wedding and my battery jammed in it.
oh
At the
my
very,
goodness.
at least it was at the very end,
Mm.
but still I missed some pictures, so I get it.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, so I'll probably take this 5 or 6 bodies with me to Texas. And when I'm local, I have 7 or 8. If I'm driving, if I put everything in the car. And the batteries and 1 flash. This time I'm taking a tripod because I'm putting a 2 1/4 on a tripod. And a light stand.
So like the one you took from the ground that was on a small tripod,
No, that was on a short.
a short tripod?
Is that what they call it? Tabletop.
Okay.
It's a tabletop with a swivel head on top,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about yay long, right? And it spreads, it gets short. So yeah, and there was dust in the lens hood, dust all over it. So I didn't protect it or anything. So I figured it'd be all right because the camera was kind of sealed. Again, I was a remote with the Pocket Wizards. I was like 90 feet away.
Mm.
Actually, I put it on a camera, so both camera in the hand and camera on the remote was triggering all at the same time.
Say that again?
So you can rig it so that the remote camera and the camera in your hand trigger at the same time.
Oh,
Yes. Instead of triggering with the remote this hand and the camera in this hand,
what
you
cameras are
you
you
can do 2
using?
cameras at the same time.
What cameras allow you to do that? So
Well, you put the pocket widget on, right?
Oh, okay.
And you put the wire into the connector, and it triggers it.
Oh,
Yeah. So they do cameras, I guess. It has those plugs on the side.
okay.
Um,
So real
or some
question,
of 'em-
Nikon, Sony,
Yeah, I
Canon. What are you shooting with?
I shoot with Leica cameras.
Leica cameras.
So I have 2 SL, 2
Mhm.
S's, and 2 M cameras, and a Q. And then I have the film camera and 2 big film cameras. So, because as a photojournalist, you're used to having 2 or 3 cameras with you, up to changing. Back when I was trained, you had at least 2, maybe 3 somewhere, because the lenses were fixed then.
Yeah.
So I'm used to the fixed lens as opposed to the zoom. Now if they get hot and tired, then yeah, they'll pop in that zoom and it's gonna be 1 camera. But when I do corporate work, that's where all my money comes from, right? Then I'll just use the SLs. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, good old days. I saw a picture, a friend of mine, there's 4 guys who used to shoot the Super Bowl. They had all the big 600 millimeter lens, the manual lens that you had to focus manually and lug it over your shoulder. Here were the days, all film, black and white film. You had to go to the back of the locker room and soup it up, get it ready for the drum scan. Wasn't too far ago. It was like, mid to late 90s.
Do you use black and white film or do you digital and change it to black and white?
So all 3. I use black and white film. I got a black and white camera, and I have the color camera, and it's more weather sealed, the color camera. So I'll have it in the black and white mode and keep it that way. But if you see some color stuff, it's because the weather was bad. But this project's mostly black and white. Yeah. Uh-oh.
By the way, what, two reporters
Valerie, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right, great. Got it fixed.
Oh, good. Do you have a question?
Yeah, Pat wants to know when
When I can go with him. I'm
when she can go
enjoying
with him on
this.
the next
I'm
trip.
loving it.
Okay.
Next trip leaves
What-
Sunday.
One at a time here. Try that again. Just one person speaking though.
Go ahead, Pat.
No, I'm good. That's all right.
No, she's good.
You wanted to know when the next trip was? Is that what you were asking?
And when he can take me with him.
I'm leaving Sunday.
He said he's leaving
Uh,
Sunday.
Sorry, in the choir on Sundays.
Ready to get started again? Okay, we're gonna mute everybody and get started with our last segment.
Greetings back. Thank you for hanging out with me for a little while longer. So I get these press releases from Newark mayor's office, and he was doing something on mothers conference, women who were becoming mothers, some conference. I can't remember the conference. So I took it upon myself to go there because I wanted to do a story on with Black maternal health. Because if you know Serena Williams, she had trouble doing her birthing. I think another sister, Tori, she was Olympic champion, and she died in her house while she was about to give birth. So there's some things going on. The congresswoman who just passed, Edie out of Texas, she died, she was a nurse and died in the hospital. No one looked after her for 3 years. So we trying to figure out what's going on with the health in Black folks and how they're being treated in the hospital. So part of picking out a story is you gotta, I don't know how to say it, but you have to have some type of trust with the community to let you come in, hang out with them and do a photo story. And I explained what I was doing. I explained it was gonna be published. They haven't seen the pictures, all the pictures yet, because I think here it's personal, it's gonna be published, and we're gonna talk, we don't really, editorial, you don't really show the subject matter pictures until it's published. But here it's a little dicey, so we're gonna have a conversation about that. So she had a doula, someone helps you with the birthing process. They, massage you, give you oils, and it's kind of taking the place of Lamont's class. So they come out, once a week, once every other week to help you with your birthing process. So this is Kachina. She loved her Chuck Taylors. She is in the examining room. She's 30. This is her boyfriend, Malcolm. He is a orange police officer. She weighs more than him. He's so tiny, so interesting. But she don't weigh that much either. So he's such a tiny person. Here is the midwife checking out the baby. And we'll play just a little of this. Hear what's going on. Can you hear? Wait, so we get up long.
Sorry.
So this is her first pregnancy.
It went by so fast. I remember when I started. That was very, very fast. Okay.
So here she's trying to talk about the birthing process and the nutrition. I got her wrong. She's not Dr. Atty. She's a midwife.
I like the way you do that. So delayed postpartum is my norm. Okay. It's our norm in the status. Okay. So we allow the 2 ways, we do 2 ways. We allow the food to stop pulsating. Okay. We wait for 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, before we cut the cord, and then we cut the cord, right? Right. The only time we don't do.
We're gonna cut here shortly.
Yeah. Hey, it keeps out saying that we cannot get the baby straight to the normal, and we continue to just, all they need is a little, suction.
Anybody been through this? Yes, we have mothers here. So we know what we're talking about. How's she sounding to you? Okay, okay, all right. I have to re-edit this. We're gonna edit down to like a minute or 2. And I like Malcolm because he's very involved in the pregnancy.
When your baby comes out, and a little bit of just.
How's our time?
By shaking or suctioning, and start crying, we're good. Okay. And the baby, you do skid to skid, you can start breastfeeding right up. At this time. Okay. Yeah. So you both want it very much. Because you have the boy. Yeah. They have a girl or boy.
Little boy. Oh, you want to wait to the end? I'm gonna stop it here. And the next video is not released yet, so I don't want to record it, right, for the public yet, because it hasn't been published yet. So if y'all viewing, it's great to view, but please don't record it for me. All right.
Also, it'll be a lot for them to try to stop recording it. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I don't want the recording to go out to the public. You know what I mean? Yeah, I have to edit it, but I just wanted to show you in here if I can. And when you do the recording, it goes out to the club? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll have to skip it. This was it, yeah, because this is the birthing process. And the baby comes out and the daddy's doing all good stuff. And yeah. So yeah, I can send you the clip later. I'm working on it starting on Monday. I'm sorry, Friday, and I have edited it down. And that's sort of, the stills are So I couldn't do video. They wouldn't let me do video in there, but they let me do audio. So is there a way I could play the audio without no, it's fine if I do the audio, but without showing the images. No. Okay.
Barely hearing it. I was wondering if I get the microphone next to it.
I don't think that's gonna work very.
Yeah, the audio is very interesting. What the parents are saying, what the medical staff is saying in the and it's only a minute long, but I don't want to show it just yet. So you think?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Okay,
Good.
that's-
We got it.
Oh, okay. Let's see. All right, wait a minute. Oh, minimize. Let's go. Will it work? Hold on. All right.
Come on, we got his head. That's perfect. Come on, it's perfect. It's perfect.
I don't know if I can minimize it.
You're good.
Uh,
Push.
that was it. So, I'm sorry. I apologize to my audience about that. This is just a rough one. When it's ready for publish, I think it's going to be published from Women's Month in March. It'll be ready for public to view. But so they trusted me in there. They called me. I was on my way to North Carolina shooting another Cowboys story. They called me that Friday on my way out at 12:30 in the morning. I said, "You got to be kidding me! I told you that boy better not come this weekend. He's supposed to come on Monday." So I was there in the delivery room for from 12:30 to about 9 o'clock. She had a lot of pre-labor, and about 3 hours later labor was coming. And for first-time mother, she did really good. It was three pushes, starts with a C. 3 contractions, third contraction, he was out in like a few minutes. And they, I think they're gonna tell me that, but he was small. He was about 6 pounds and change, but he's full term. He was supposed to be out like not 2 weeks before, but like 10 days before, but he didn't. He was just hanging out. Yeah. She said she was trying to be a trooper and not take the epidural, but she was cussing everybody out. She says, "Nope, give it to me. Give it to me. I don't care." And so I have photographs of that, not detailed, but just in a position, getting the epidural. And then I think somewhere 8:42 is born. So like 8:30, she started whatever, and baby came out. Baby's name is Choice with a Y, Choyse. And I called her and talked to both parents and said, I'll be out there to get a family picture to follow up the story. So that's how, your photojournalist, documentary fire, that's how you get your stories. You talk to people, see what's going on with them. If you see somebody interesting, hey, can I hang out with you? Can I do this? Can I do that? And you see what the limitations are, or none of the limitations. And a lot of my assignments are self-assigned. And that's how I get them published, by just coming on my own assignments. Because sometimes if you're waiting for an assignment, you may not get that, or you may not get the one you want. And if you're working on it, you're putting everything into it. And so that's what I've done when I worked for the Associated Press. I was Associated Press for 5 years. I worked in Wilmington, Delaware for about 10. I worked in Trenton for a couple of years. And a lot of my assignments were self-assigned, just meeting people, just filling them out, and they could be crappy assignments, but it's all about practicing work. I was at January 6th. That story is funny. I got there in the morning, photographing everything, 6-7 hours outside, and I walked back and forth to the Capitol grounds, and nothing's really happening. I interview a big guy from West Virginia. He says, "Hey, what's up?" I talked to him. He says, "Well, what you doing for today?" "We about to go in." I looked at him like, "You about to go in where?" I said, "You not going in?" I walked away, and sure enough, about an hour later, they all went inside. But by that time, my bladder was overflowing, and I turned around. The crowd, I was packed in like sardines. I turned around to go to the porta john, and by the time I got there, got back to my position was all over. Everything was tight, like I said, like sardines. You really couldn't move around. I got a little pepper sprayed. I got photographic photos before the entry of the Capitol, and they did bother some press people for some reason. They didn't really bother me. I got stuff in the eye. The guys got put the water in my eyes, got it out. Some of the guys trained for pepper spray. They were just sitting there having pepper spray all in the face. It was like, okay, whatever. So I did a Super Bowl when it was here in New Jersey. I wrote a guy. I said, "Hey, listen, could you put me down for Super Bowl?" He put me down. I came in, and anybody been to Super Bowl? It's like Princess Diana and Charles' wedding. It's huge. You're treated like kings and queens when you come there. They give you all kind of stuff, and but I was up in the end zone, right? I wasn't on the ground. I was in the end zone, and Sports Illustrated was to my right. They have the aisle seats, so they go up and down the aisle, but everybody else is. So you're frozen, right? So my editor said, "Don't drink nothing, don't eat nothing for 6 hours because you can't get out." So we had, yeah, once you're in, once they let the folks in, you can't get out, and you can't do it. And no halftime. You have 20 minutes. You can't even get up the stairs in 20 minutes. But we had runners that came. We had our cards, right? Little CF cards, and they would come get our cards. You shoot 2 or 3 frames, give them a card, they come back, shoot 2 frames, come back, boom, 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 boom. And you brought your own hard drive in, and they would copy the pictures on the hard drive so you have when you go home. And there's only certain people they allowed on the field. Years ago, it was open, but now this was it 2024, 2014. By the time by 2010, everything became really restricted on what photographers can do and where you can go. I think around 2006, they start putting vests on you, right? But before, you can just cover sports like whatever you wanted to do. But now there's just so many people on the field, they restricted it.
Did you get a memorable shot?
I got a couple of shots of Elway and Seattle played a couple of good shots that I keep in the portfolio. And needless to say, I don't know if something happened to the hard drive. So those are the pictures I got, like 3 or 4. So it happens. I've been to Ghana. I covered orphanage in Ghana. AP treated me very well. I was about to go on a Kitty Hawk during 2001. I think we had some conflict overseas. And there was a brother down in Steve Hebler, I think, was in Richmond. So he had the first shift. He had the first shift to cover the war in Iraq, I think it was 2003. I can't remember which one it was. So he was on a Kitty Hawk, and I was going to replace him. So, okay, all right, here it comes. I'm going to go to in-bed training in Jersey, Fort McGuire, whatever it is in Jersey. And he did in-bed training, and they taught you how to do first aid and show you what the bullets look like from AK and from M16. And I got my bags packed Sunday, and then Monday I get the call, "Nope, it's over, you're not going." So that was it with the getting ready to get on the Kitty Hawk. And my first assignment I did with the Washington Post. I freelanced in DC with the Washington Post. I'm a Howard University graduate. And actually, let me go back when I first taking classes at Fine Arts. I brought my picture in to the teacher, and he looked at it and said, "What is this? Get this out of here." I mean, I started crying, I said, "What are you talking about? I'm the best guy in my town." So, and then a few weeks later, I saw some improvements. Okay, this is better. And the following week, I had a picture of Andrew Young in the Washington Post, and then he had nothing to say after that. Then that was his charm student. So, but yeah, just if you have questions, please. I'm just talking now. So if you have questions, I'd be glad to entertain them about the Cowboys and assignments and doing photography. Photojournalists they do everything. So they do lifestyle, they do landscapes, they do everything. And I kind of got myself into more documentary issue reporting and stuff. And
What was your favorite thing you shot?
yeah, you know, we get that a lot, right? And every answer changes. So I'm right now with the Cowboys. And it's not as easy as it looks, but it's still interesting. I think one story I worked on was a national headliner. That's a pretty big award that you get in journalism. It's with the University of Delaware rowing team, and that was a self-assignment. I went because I go up in the morning, I see the golden light and the river and reflection. I knew just what to do, and it worked out. And it was the first place sports. So I shot a lot. I shot let's see who, Baby Bush. Which George Bush was young George Bush, that president, and he's president after him, even up to Trump. I shot all the presidents. Huh? No, Jeb was HW's the old guy, right? He's passed. The young one.
Oh, no. W was the son.
W. So I photographed everyone from him. I tried to photograph Reagan, but they didn't let me get in to shoot him. Photograph him. Can't shoot a president, right? So those were exciting assignments. You're in a pool, you're there for hours, right? They come in, screen you down, stuff like that. And you could go to the White House now if you wanted to photograph them. Just call them up, because it's open for public. But you have to call them and say, I'd like to come photograph the president. Can I come in? And you just call them up, they'll give you a credential. You can fly. You can go up. Is it McGuire Air Force? It's a joint task, whatever it is right. So you can go up in one of those planes if you want. You call them up, say, hey, I want to go up and hang out with the pilots because it's possible. And I'm doing a story. I want to do some pictures. They'll make arrangements for you to go up and photograph, because it's all public tax dollars. You're entitled to that. So you get on a ship, whatever, things of that sort. No, that helps, right? That helps, but you could say to them, listen, I'm a citizen. I'm working on a story on aerodynamics, or I want to photograph airplanes. Can I go up with one of the C5s or 103, whatever those big planes? I think Delaware has the bigger planes. Delaware has it. Was it the 130s? Sorry? No, well, they just do regular training, regular routes. They all do regular routes. Yeah, they'll check you out. They'll see who you are, right? They'll see who you are. They'll check you out, make sure everything's good. I've done a lot of celebrities. We photographed. Hugh Jackman was nice. Queen Latifah. They're all good people. You get used when you're out in that field. You get used to them. I don't really like doing the red carpet, because you got to wait. You got to stand. Fashion week is a bummer, because you have to. If it's a fashion show at 2:00, you got to be at 11:30 to get your spot. Otherwise, you're crouched down and you can't do anything. You're sitting for 2 or 3 hours. So that's exciting the first 2 or 3 times, but after that, and you want to get in the backstage, that's better because you have more flexibility. So what kind of photography you guys do?
More
Landscape. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, I did that years ago. I did one shot. I took a diving class and everything, and had an iconos, and I didn't have the patience for it. I like people.
Want to unmute people? Does anybody online want to come off mute and ask a question? I'm sorry, we've been dominating it here in the room. Okay.
I invite you to go out to Okmulgee to see the rodeo. Boley has one too. Boley's an all-black town. They have a Memorial Day weekend. And then Okmulgee's the third weekend in August. It's very interesting to see and to do. Oklahoma's huge. So I think Cowtown has a rodeo, right? But it used to have a full rodeo, but now it's just the bulls and the bronking horses. And I think that the national rodeo people took them over. It was family owned, and you can kind of go, and you probably still can go do portraits. They'll let you come in and do portraits of them. If you want to work on portraits, the cowboys they'll say, I'm coming down some portraits. Can I shoot the cowboys? Not doing the arena, because then they want you to sign your license and rights away. So, but if you want to work on your portraiture, they let you do that. Yeah, so that's kind of how I got started. I started watching, but anybody remember Buck and the Preacher? With Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte? So that's how I kind of got hooked into the Cowboys and the Buffalo Soldiers. Yeah. We have a question?
No, I'm
No.
just checking for chat.
Um,
Any tips on sports photography?
so I've shot sports with a 35, 50 millimeter, all the lenses. It depends on the sport and where they come. Cycling is probably the best sport. If it's a loop, if it's a Tour de France, you want to get up on a hill because they're going slow. Oh yeah, Special Olympics. Uh-huh. Right. So
Swimming coming up, track and field coming up, whole different genre.
Hold on, hold on. Just nobody online can hear you.
Speaking of sports, yeah, I did track. Swimming, if it's inside, you got to get your camera inside first, right? Because it's cold outside. You know, you got to get them all warmed up. It's well, not in May, but I'm saying if it's in winter.
In May,
Uh-huh.
down in New Jersey, World Championship for the Port Blaze is being shot
Wow.
down there. And that's just open to the public. You can go in and shoot that.
That's
Um,
that's good. It's not a popular sport, but it's good.
They'll
They want
have,
that publicity.
they'll have about 17, right now they have like 1,700 registered shooters that'll be
What?
there.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is World Championship. This is top of the line stuff.
It goes around the country, or is it here every year?
They shoot sporting clays all over.
I know, but the World Championship, is it just here this
is
year?
Here at the M&M Hunting Preserve down in Pennville, New Jersey.
Is it Penn or Pennsville?
Pennsville.
Yeah, Pennsville.
And what's that, exit 2?
Yeah,
the turnpike.
yeah.
And from the 14th to the 19th of May
And is it here every year, or does it just have to be here this year?
this year.
Oh, that's fantastic. I would encourage you to go out to photograph that. That's good. That's good. A different sport that people don't see every day.
What is it?
So you can use a long telephoto. 7,200 is good, or 400, depends on what you want to show. I don't always like shooting tight. I like loose stuff. And I used to train with manual cameras. I used to train on the cars coming by on the street, just to follow focus. You don't have to do that now, right? But I think Fuji has a camera that comes out that's 180 frames a second, some crazy number. Now they got the eye contact and focus. So it's all, every time I go out, it's always practice. I can't always remember, do I do it this way every time? Because things change. So swimming's great, the track is good. You can talk to the athletes. It's good. It's okay to talk to them. They like to know who you are. They feel comfortable when you talk to them. With the Special Olympics, some of them move a little slower, but if they have certain abilities, they may move a little fast. It depends on the sport. What track did you shoot before? If you mind me asking. Yeah, I was out at the LaFontaine, right? The Prix out in Portland. I did that a couple of times. They have all the elite athletes to come out, and they put you in a bullpen too, so you can't really move around. You got to wait till they come to you.
Well, I was shooting actually this is like a group where we do like wheelchair sports and adaptive sports. So I've actually shot things like, what is it, like javelin,
Yes,
shot put, what is it? What else is there? Javelin, shot put,
discus.
discus, and all like that. Then I've also been there for doing the archery, Archery's another one.
Right.
Then there's the road races and all like this, the wheelchair races and all like that. So I've done that. And yeah, I've done quite a bit.
Oh,
I've
that's
done
super.
basketball down in Philly with, I mean, Valerie and I have shot a number of competitions that we had a friend who has children who were in it. She was a photographer doing it. So she roped us into it too. And no, it's actually,
That's a horse term.
I know, but it was actually the one thing is I've also done swimming matches too.
Okay.
That's just it, which are really a lot tougher, with especially like some places where the lighting isn't as good, because you have to worry about that. What else?
So
Yeah.
you should, in that case, you should think of reaction, like when they come out the pool and they get to a spot. So that's always very good, interesting photographs when they're not in action as well.
Well, yeah, the one thing I always used to do is every so often is like, okay, like there were other, like these are places where there are volunteers from around too. So you make sure you get the volunteers who are working it, but you also get the teams as they're sitting on the side. And, you might get an interaction of the kids from multiple teams together. It's just good to see them as they interact and all like that. And I just love some of the expressions, like when they're throwing something or doing like that. You just get these. If you get the right expressions, it's priceless. It really is.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's good. Yeah, when I was at the AP, the Associated Press, I shot a lot of the pro sports, and some of the sports that aren't pro, like what you meant, are just as good to photograph.
Well, the one thing looking at it is, people say, oh, about them and all about this, but I just looked at it as being able-bodied and all like this, and I looked at it and said, they have to overcome so many more things to do what they're doing, and it's like, wow, it just that's the part that I did this. I just volunteered to do this because it's like I just wanted, it was really neat to see, and it's just, they really do it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yes, exactly.
And try to get it published as well. I mean, that's there's magazines that want to see that, and online folks. So don't just knock on the door and say, hey, what's your photo guidelines and how much do you pay? We pay $5, pay 10 cents, we pay $100. But it's good to get them published if you haven't gotten them published.
Yeah, but it was one of those things that I enjoyed. I haven't done it in a while, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I've done it. I feel like there were 2 national championships that I was part of. I had to go up. I drove out to Michigan for one of them, and one was up in North Jersey. So it's just, I mean, it's the odd part. The thing is, you've got them, it's like you're here. We've done, I mean, so what they even had things like, indoor hockey, things like that. I didn't necessarily do weightlifting, some
Right.
other things. So there are things like that. There are a whole bunch of other things that you don't realize that they that are being done.
That's good. That's good to know, and you get that out there. And that's how you practice your sports. You just shoot it and practice, and turn your portfolio in, and you get it published, and that's key. Lifestyle, I shot ballet. But yeah, as a photojournalist, you shoot a lot of, what's down the pipe? You could be the pet of the week, right? And the pet of the week, at one time I had a horse and a dog and a cat. So you try to make them look the best they can, because you never know what you're getting. Yes, ma'am. Okay. No, okay, all right, I'll take 5 minutes. Just trying to get back to your question, the pictures that I like to shoot or whatever I remember. Yeah, swimming can be tough. Swimming can be tough. Pennant relays I always like to shoot. But what my man here mentioned with the clay competition, that's really interesting. Yeah.
One of those things you don't get to see very often.
No. If you go to Paris, it's always good to shoot the Tour de France if you can. Like I said, get up on the hill. I haven't shot that yet. I want to, but I don't think I'll make it this year. Yeah, up the hill's a little slower, but if they're coming right by you, it's done. So get your shot, get your spot. A friend of mine said, she said 15 seconds. They were sitting down. The cycle's gone. The cars were still coming, but. Oh, the gap, yeah. If they're all together, it's all over with. So you do hiking or anything, ma'am?
No, no,
To- No hiking. So where do you go with your landscape photos? Where do you go get them?
We've done like destination kind of thing.
Mm.
Went to, West Virginia,
Mhm.
Wyoming.
Oh, yes.
Wyoming was interesting. Things you don't see here.
Okay, right, no, I know. And New Yorkers have that problem. They think everything revolves around New York, but you have to get out of New York to see the rest of the country, the rest of the world. So much different. Really, this is out here? Can't be.
And we went to Norway and did the Northern Lights.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
So that was
Okay.
interesting.
Yes, yes. I think they have that up in Nova Scotia too.
One of the girls from club was up in Fairbanks,
Mm.
this past week. So haven't seen any pictures from her, but,
Speaking of which, I did do the Iditarod one year.
oh, that would be neat.
Yeah, it's different kind of cold out there. This is 2009, 2010. Huh? It's good dry cold. A lot of snow. I did 3 days. Yeah, 3 days. Because I didn't really have any transportation to follow them all the way through. Again, it's self-assignment. And the girl who was out there was from Jersey, so I photographed her and got it to the Jersey papers. And it's interesting because they come to Sarah Palin's town, starts with a W, and that's the last stop of humans you see till you get to the next spot. So, Wallina, I forgot the name of the town. Even saw Goodman, John Goodman.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's from that town. I said, "Hey, you John?" I look like John. You look like John. And everybody flies out there, right? You gotta have a plane, to get around and winter because the snow is 9 months out of the year, from September to about May and June. That was interesting. I liked it out there. That was nice. There's some interesting people. Yeah, landscapes are nice. I like black and white landscapes. One of my favorite photographers is Sebastião Salgado, right? Sebastião shoots a lot. I don't know what he does now. He just sits back and talks, I guess. All right. I guess was that the wrap up sign?
Yep.
Matt?
It's our time.
Matt, the last note. Raise the hand, say stop. Oh man, thank you so much for letting me come out and hang out with you guys.
Okay. Thank you very much. We enjoyed it.
Thank you.
We'll see you all in 2 weeks for the competition on leading lines.
Like, why are you looking at me?